Welcome to the Photo Report, where we talk to other photographers about how they run their business, how they balance their lives, and how they stay inspired. I'm Braden Flynn, your host, and had the chance to be out at Field Trip, which is an amazing conference where you're challenged, you're inspired, you get to hang out with amazing people, and it's just a blast. I spoke out there, but then also had the chance to just talk with a couple other photographers that are friends of mine, and hope you love what they had to say. This interview is with Josh Moates, founder of Indie Film Lab. Well, we're out here with Josh from Indie Film Lab.
Yeah.
Wanted to just more so have a conversation with you about what you do. Like, give a little bit of your background, and
Okay.
then we'll talk. I just always intrigued by like people who take what they're doing and then start a business out of it. But yeah, just
Okay.
give a little bit about your background.
Yeah. So pretty much a quick background. Visual arts major in college. Graphic design kind of thing, and no one in college was like, you could be a photographer. They were just
Right.
like, that's a class you can take. No one really did that. So I'm a musician. So when I was on the road touring, I would have a camera with me. I got to get a camera to document this.
Yeah.
So I kind of just got like a digital camera after shooting film. I was like, this is so much easier and cool, So I would shoot some digital images of just the tour, and I met up with a few models and just shot them, and out of 1,200 pictures, like 6 are good,
Yeah.
So I was like, I could do this as, like a back.
Sorry, keep talking. I just want to think about this guy. I'm out, pinned out.
That's so
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great to see you.
Good
Good to see you,
too.
man.
Awesome. Just keep going.
Yeah.
It's Field Trip, right?
Yeah.
We're just here with everybody. Okay, I was, I forgot where I was.
Visual arts major.
Visual arts major. Okay, so shooting and doing the tour thing, documenting
Yeah.
the tour, and shooting a few models in LA, and was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then it dawned on me, like, oh, I could like do this for a living, like as a side, like a B to the musician thing.
Yeah.
So that's how I became a photographer, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I started doing some fine art stuff, some documentary stuff, and started shooting weddings and portraits and stuff like that, with my partner. And how Indie came about, if that's what you're kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or even before that, like because you were sort of doing that. Like, why did you start choosing film as a medium?
Yeah. Okay. So perfect. All right. So in college, I would shoot like black and white and get it processed, do it yourself and all
Yeah.
that. So I kind of learned in the darkroom, just like everybody else in college. So I would take those negatives and print them really big.
Yeah.
Well, I had a backpack full of my college stuff, just hidden back
Yeah.
in the closet. I moved houses to a new house. So when I did, I found this backpack, and I was shooting weddings at this time.
Right.
Found this backpack, pulled out these prints, and we're like, wow, like, okay, I need to like incorporate some of this into my weddings because this looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is kind of what I'm missing, right? So I did a little more research and just kind of dug deeper into like what film's about in that, because this was like 2003. So this is exactly, or 2004, when digital was like starting to really kind of come out.
Yeah.
And so people were like ditching their film cameras and going to digital. So
Yeah.
I got like an RZ. I studied and I was like, man, this looks like a really rad camera. So I picked it up, really cheap because we were getting rid of them.
Yeah.
And fired off a roll just around my house and got the scans back and from my local lab, who really, just kind of just scanned them. Didn't really do any color correction or anything, just scanned them. And so I immediately pulled them up on my computer and were like, this is like another level of like what I've been missing,
Yeah.
going from like a crop chip 30D
Right.
to a 6.7 negative. Like, wow, it really blew my mind. So that's when I said I need to really get into this and dig into this deeper. So that's when I would send my film out, and I said, hey man, I can do this myself. I like to have that. I'm real tinkery. So I got a scanner, and just for me, and I would process my film and scan it myself.
Yeah.
And I would post it in film groups and things like that on Facebook, and just kind of hey, scan it myself. I got a scanner. It's really
Right.
kind of, it's weird. This thing's massive, and it is like, it's not just this little film thing. It's like this whole thing. It's a whole new world.
Yeah.
So I'd post some images, and people were like, hey, that's cool. You're near me. Instead of sending it away, would you mind scanning my stuff? Which is kind of a crazy question randomly. So I was like, I'll try. I'll see what I can do. So it wasn't like I said, I'm going to start a lab. I just said, I'm doing this for me. And people were like, you know, liked what I was doing with my own stuff. So it just kind of slowly turned into a lab.
Yeah.
But so I did it very organically and slow, and I say slow, but what happened was, like, after a few people kind of caught on and they kind of were saying, hey, there's a new lab in the South, you know, the Southeast, we were in Alabama, check them out. So I started getting orders. We did a beta stage and it went really well, and you know, there's a point where you say, hey, we're gonna do it or not do it. And so I said, let's just do it. And so now it's, you know, it's been 4 years, and I mean, we're fairly a new lab in the grand scheme of things, but I mean, you know, we're out here, you know, connecting with, you know, people who shoot film and people who don't shoot film that want to shoot film. So that's why we're here, and we're just a part of the community, to be honest. It's just something that we just love to meet and hang out with people who are like-minded like us, you know. So, you know, we're not a lab that's like in board meetings and let's deadlines. We're just just do it as we feel, and it's been really great. And I get to meet cool people like you, and it's been great. So
what do you feel like, because I'm guessing now you're at a stage where, like, you've got photographers that are contacting you, or like wanting to shoot film or wanting to learn about that. Like, what do you feel like is a common question or things that people are like wanting
to know from, like, coming from a digital standpoint, or just in general?
Like, let's say you've got a younger, newer photographer who's like really wanting to do it, but doesn't really know how to take those steps, you know? Yeah. Basically, the main thing I'm hearing is like, I'm scared. I'm so scared to shoot it. I mean, weren't you? I was too, right? You're like, I'm scared to do this because I'm gonna A, fail, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know it as well. Right. But so kind of our goal is to just help them kind of overcome that fear, and that's why we're here doing what we're doing at Field Trip. But yeah, some of the main things is, I'm so scared nothing's gonna come out. I'm so scared nothing come out. The same thing happened when digital came out and all the film shooters transitioned digital. All my images are on this little card. That's ridiculous. So it's just different, and it's just that you're not used to it. But that's the main thing I'm saying, is like this like scared feeling, this I would mess it up. And once they overcome that fear, like I did, like everyone that picks up a new type of device goes through, once they hit that level of like, oh, this is cool, images do come out, this does work, and it is beautiful, that's when it clicks. They say, I can incorporate this into my business or just my art, and I can create with it, and it's like beautiful. So that's the main thing, is just helping people overcome that fear. Especially people who start in digital and they're like, oh no, the images are in here and everything's good and it's all in this card. Instead of like, what is this roll? I'm sending this to somebody across the country to do it, and it's like letting go of that. And so that's the main thing, for sure. That's cool. I mean, for me, I'm more confident that my film image is going to come out better than what I shoot digitally, because I'm calculated in the sense of like you become really aware of what you're shooting and where your light is, and you're taking meter readings, and so I know exactly how it's going to come out when I shoot it at this, you know, shutter, this aperture. So it's really fun, and I loved Indy brought a bunch of different film cameras. I think it's been really cool for people to be able to just have a different perspective, and like a medium format camera that you have to look down at, you know, versus just something that you're holding right here. And it's challenge for like any photographers out there, like, go do something different that is gonna like challenge your status quo. Right?
Absolutely, and that's kind of the thing is, like, that's why we're doing this, exactly what you said. Like, I want them to experience a new way to shoot, and not just the fact of just shooting something new, but maybe they're trying to go after that and they just didn't know, and they pick it up and go, this is what I'm missing, this connection with my client, because I'm looking at them and seeing the light instead of like taking a picture and saying that's not good. They learn to see the light with their own eyes and how it feels, and it's here, and this is like almost like, you know, a part of this, and not just blocking me. So when I'm shooting a waist level finder especially, it's like I'm seeing everything, and I'm just like using this a second, like, oh, let me grab that. And so, but totally.
Amazing. So I'd say, like, if you're in a place where you're in a rut, like, just get something different that is gonna like let you see things differently, you know. So
absolutely, I totally agree, man. That's what happened to me, man. I was at that point where I was not inspired with my work, and I can't tell anyone, hey man, you know, film's better, go do this. Although to me it is, for my work it is. So I can't say like, put down that digital camera and go shoot film, because that's not, you know, 100% accurate. I can say, if you're in a place where you feel like you need to kind of like, you know, expand and do something different, definitely grab a medium format camera and go shoot, for sure.
blow your mind.
Blow your mind. It did me, man.
Yeah.
It did, and it grabbed me tight. I was like, wow, this is what I'm missing. This is what I want my photography to be when I print it and show someone. They might not even know what it is, or what they just go like, that's how I want to show them. You know, I don't want to show them. Not that digital's bad. I'm saying that's how I want them to see it.
For
So,
you, that's where you resonate.
Yeah.
That's what feels more authentic.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like for my fine art stuff that I'm gonna sell someone or put on a wall. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Rad. So how can, if people want to find Indy, what's the site? How do people find
Okay,
you?
it's just indiefilmlab.com, and we have all the information there about sitting in film, and we also do a thing called Indie Film Lab University, and it's a couple of videos where I kind of explain some things about the different types of scanners we use and like pushing and pulling, and that's going to grow. Actually, cool thing you mentioned that that you were asking about that is because we're doing this, we're going to start doing this Google Hangout. So the first 4 people to come on, I'm going to have like special guests. It'd be awesome to have you. So it'd be like me, you, and like some even new people into it that have questions that we can just address right there, so that they're not like scared to call the lab or like feel like they're asking anything silly. That they can just come on to Google Chat. We both kind of talk them into doing it. So that's still part of the Indie Film Lab University thing, but it's just like a different level, so they can interact with me. So that they can do that. So I'd love to have you on there.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, thanks.
Yeah, dude.
Been fun hanging out.
Yes, man. It's so great to see you in person again.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go check them out. Like, what's gonna hurt? Go try out the film. Send it in. They'll do a good job.
Awesome.
All right.
Perfect.